Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you never miss any video lesson from RAU'S IAS Study Circle.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Prelims Practice, a series on prelims based MCQ practice from The Hindu and the Indian Express. So the first question that we have is from the Cheetah reintroduction program, where cheetahs have been reintroduced in the Kuno Palpur National Park in Madhya Pradesh. So before solving this, if you look at the previous year question papers in the environment section, you will find that questions have repeatedly been asked in the previous years from important species and species which are under conservation programs of the government of India. And as you can see, a question was asked in 2019 related to Asiatic lion. So if you have to solve this question that you see on your screen, if you look at the first statement, it says it is the fastest animal. Now, although cheetah is the fastest animal on land, however, it is not the fastest animal across the globe. And the fastest animal on earth is peregrine falcon, which is a bird and not cheetah. Although cheetah is the fastest animal on land, but it is not the fastest animal across the globe. And that is why this first statement is incorrect. If you look at the second question, it reads, before reintroduction, it was the only carnivore that became extinct in India. This is a correct fact because no other carnivorous animal has become extinct other than cheetah. And the third statement, that is, as compared to tigers, cheetah are more aggressive towards human beings, is wrong because the cheetahs are not aggressive towards human beings and also big sized livestock. That is why the correct answer to this question is C, that is 2 only. There is another way of solving this question. If we know in this question that the first statement is incorrect, you can easily eliminate the options A, B and D. Hence C is the correct answer. So keep this thing in mind that you can eliminate some of the options that are given in the questions. The second question is related to Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict over the Nagorno-Karabakh region. In this, the headline says crisis in Caucasus. And if you look at the previous year question papers, a question has been asked related to the term Levant, often heard in the news. This question was asked in the prelims examination of 2022, that is in this year's prelims examination. So now the practice question says the term Caucasus, sometimes seen in the news, refers to which of the following? So in this line, this conflict that is going on in Armenia-Azerbaijan is happening in the Caucasus region. And that is why we need to be aware of where this Caucasus region falls. And if you look at the Caucasus mountain, they lie between Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. The Greater Caucasus Mountain and the Lesser Caucasus Mountain both lie between Black Sea and the Caspian Sea region. So the correct answer is the region between Black Sea and Caspian Sea. The next question is related to accumulation of large reserves of foreign exchange or the Forex. So in the year 2017, a question was asked related to impact of liberalization on India's economy. And one of the options was India's foreign exchange reserves increase enormously, which means that a question can be asked related to factors that lead to increase or decrease in the foreign exchange reserves. So this practice question, if you consider the first statement, the adoption of Fed tapering by the US Fed Bank is likely to increase India's foreign exchange reserves. If you know that if the US is doing Fed tapering, which simply means that it is going to increase the interest rates. If it is increasing the interest rates in the United States of America, it is going to attract dollars from everywhere across the globe. And that is why the dollars will outflow from India. And hence, India's foreign exchange reserves will fall. So that is why the first statement given here is incorrect. And if we look at the second statement, the rupee devaluation by the Reserve Bank of India is likely to decrease India's forex reserves. And when does the RBI undertake rupee devaluation? So RBI undertakes rupee devaluation to check large-scale appreciation of rupee. And as a part of such exercise, Reserve Bank of India buys excess dollars from the market, which leads to increase in India's foreign exchange reserves. And that is why this statement is also incorrect, because the statement says the rupee devaluation by RBI is likely to decrease India's foreign exchange reserves, which is incorrect. Now, if we eliminate 1 and 2, the answer that is left is B, that is 3 only. That is why the foreign exchange reserves are denominated and expressed in US dollar terms, which is the correct statement. So the correct answer is B3 only. The next question is related to increase in the direct tax collection of the government of India, because this statement reads net direct tax kitty crosses rupees 7 lakh crores. And if you look at the previous year question papers, in the prelims examination of 2017, a question was asked related to trends in tax revenue as a percentage of GDP. Similarly, fiscal deficit as a percentage of GDP, if it has increased steadily or not. In this question that you see on your screen, if you look at the second statement closely, that is, since the introduction of GST, the share of indirect taxes has been higher than that of direct taxes, but that has not been the case because the share of direct taxes has always been higher as compared to the indirect taxes. And if you look at the options closely, you can eliminate the options A, C and D because all these options contain the second statement, which is incorrect. So the correct answer that comes out is B, that is 1 and 3 only. Now, if you consider the first statement, amongst the direct taxes, the corporate tax accounts for the highest share. Yes, it is a correct statement because the highest share in the direct taxes is of the corporate tax. And if you look at the third statement, the tax to GDP ratio in 2021 has increased to its highest level in the last decade. It is also a correct statement because according to the latest data that was released, the tax to GDP ratio in 2021-22 has increased to its highest level in the last decade. That is why this is a very important fact for us to learn. However, the technique in such questions is you first find out which statement is incorrect here. The next question is related to the process of inclusion and exclusion of communities from the scheduled tribe list. This has been in news because the Union Cabinet has approved the proposal of various tribes to be included in the list of scheduled tribes in the states of Himachal Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, etc. And in the previous years, in 2015, a question was asked related to the protection of scheduled tribes and their rights. So the question was, the provision of the 5th and the 6th schedule in the Indian Constitution has been included in order to protect the interests of the scheduled tribes. And if you look at this practice question on your screen and look at the first statement closely, it reads, the process to include the communities into the SC and the ST list is initiated by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs of Union Government, which is an incorrect statement. This is because the process to include any community into the SC/ST list is initiated by the state government. From there on, it is forwarded to the Ministry of Tribal Affairs for its review, and from there on, it is forwarded to Registrar General of India, and finally to National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. If you look at the second statement, it reads, once a community is included into a category, then its category can be changed through a separate bill which is passed by the parliament, which is a correct statement because the process of inclusion and exclusion of a community into a particular scheduled caste or scheduled tribe list is by the way of a bill that amends the Constitutional Order of Scheduled Tribes 1950, and if it is passed by both the houses and assented by the President of India. So the correct answer to this question is B, that is 2 only. Now the next question is related to International Fund for Agricultural Development, or the IFAD, and it focuses on alleviating rural poverty by investing in rural agricultural projects. And we all are aware that solving the problem of food crisis, alleviating poverty are the highest priority for Government of India also. And if you look at the previous year questions, in the year 2014, a question was asked related to the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture and its bearing on the biodiversity. So if you look at the question that is there on your screen, the first statement is that the IFAD, or the International Fund for Agriculture and Development, is a specialized agency of United Nations. Second is that it aims at removing rural poverty. And both of these statements are correct here. In this line, it is important for us to understand which all agencies are the specialized agencies of the United Nations. The next question is related to ethanol blending program because there is a ban on the export of broken rice and it is linked to the ethanol blending program. If you look at the previous year question papers, in the year 2017, a question was asked related to issues associated with algae-based biofuels. And if you look at this practice question on your screen, it is about ethanol blending in fuel and its impact. And if you look at the first statement, that is, the ethanol blending increases the fuel economy of the vehicles, it is an incorrect statement. This is because the calorific value of ethanol is lesser as compared to gasoline or fuels like petrol. And that is why more fuel is required to achieve the same engine power output. That is why it does not increase the fuel economy of the vehicles, and first statement is incorrect. If you look at the fourth statement, it reads, ethanol blending significantly reduces nitrogen oxide emissions. And this fourth statement is also incorrect because the ethanol blending does not have any implication on the emissions of the nitrogen oxides or the NOx emissions. So as we know that the first and the fourth statements are incorrect, we can eliminate the options A, B and D. And hence the correct answer that comes out is 2 and 3 only are correct in this question. So if you look at the second statement, it reads, ethanol blending improves oxygen content of the fuel, resulting in complete combustion. It is the correct statement. And because of the complete combustion of ethanol and its improvement in the oxygen content of the fuel, it results in lower emissions of carbon monoxide as well as particulate matter. And thirdly, ethanol is corrosive in nature and it can damage the engines, and this is also a correct statement. The next question is related to the National List of Essential Medicine 2022, which has been amended by the Government of India to include certain medicines. And if you look at the practice question on your screen, the first statement says companies cannot change the price of drugs that have been included in the National List of Essential Medicine. In this line, this National List of Essential Medicine is released by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And the drugs that are included in this list, the companies cannot change the price for those drugs. So the first statement is correct. If you look at the second statement, patented drugs are not included in this list. Now this statement is incorrect because the patented drugs have been included for the first time in this particular list, and that is why this is a very important fact that has been in the news. So the correct answer is A1 only. Now this National List of Essential Medicine was created in 1996 and it has been modified 4 times in 2003, 2011, 2015 and 2022 to include certain patented drugs related to tuberculosis, HIV as well as hepatitis C. The next question is related to lumpy skin disease that is affecting the cattle population in India. And if you look at the previous year question papers, in the prelims examination, many questions have been asked related to diseases. For example, in 2015, a question was asked related to H1N1 virus, which is related to swine flu. So if you look at this practice question on your screen, the first statement reads that it is a bacterial skin disease transmitted by vectors affecting cattle and buffaloes only. This statement is incorrect because it is a viral disease and not a bacterial disease. If you look at the third statement, it reads, it infects humans through consumption of milk or meat. This is also an incorrect statement because this disease does not get transmitted from the animals to the human beings. That is, it is not a zoonotic disease and it is not transmitted from animals to humans. And if we know that 1 and 3 are incorrect, we can eliminate A, B and D. The correct answer that comes out is 2 only. That is, it spreads by blood feeding insects including mosquitoes, flies and lice.
So that is it for today. See you tomorrow with more questions. Stay tuned.